getting in touch with and making network contacts with other internet radio stations that are in other places. And that makes me happy to see that other people are doing it as well. And that we're not, sort of a sole island, or, we're not just a small oasis, that it's a growing movement and it's getting bigger, and that more people are taking it seriously.
Yeah, and I hope too that, as it just seems as though, the traditional radio and kind of like the older mediums, as people turn more and more to the web, I feel like underground artists have a better shot at getting their music heard by a much bigger audience. So, I'm optimistic. I think there's a lot of good opportunities for that.
I hope so, man, because, and truthfully, in total honesty, like I said, when I did this, as a network, we put ourselves out there on Facebook and a few other places, but we really, we don't have a budget to really promote in a lot of places outside of Detroit. So I seriously and honestly expected somewhere between 100 and maybe 200 bands to submit music. And I thought, we'll pull 40 or 50 bands out of there and we'll really do it. And, at this point, we've gotten 1,500 submissions.
Wow.
And it has just been overwhelming, and we're slowly going through them. And I really appreciate everybody's patience with that. And I have come across some bands that have utterly just blown my mind. I can't comprehend why they're not, names that are playing major stadiums and major stages and are not being heard on the radio. It just, it's not fair to me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. And, a lot of it comes down to, there's a lot of talented people out there who are fully capable of producing great art, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They make these amazing sounding records. And unfortunately, without a major financial commitment from a label or from someone, it's really, really hard for these bands to break through. Myself included, I just, studio time and promoting it all costs money, so, it's tough. It's very tough.
I mean, even the bands with backing, it seems like are really struggling to break out now. I mean, I've heard bands from the West Coast like Clover Jane that are just killing it and don't have it. And even bands from like Boston, another one from Boston is they used to be called Reveille, but now they're called Genuflect. Those guys have had the major label contract and are still, kind of struggling to really break through and really leave their mark. And, just utterly amazing artists all across this country that are just absolutely, every element from the song to the instrumentation to the production is just dead on and, so much better than half of the stuff that I listen to on the radio. And I don't understand why. I always jokingly, I make jokes about when somebody famous dies. One that I make a joke about a lot is George Carlin. It's, to me, it's completely unfair that George Carlin and Red Fox have to die and we're left with Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that, man.
It just, I don't, and I realize, it's a cycle of life, and I say it jokingly, but in a way, it's not really joking because, I don't know, I guess life just isn't fair, and no matter how much I bitch or complain about it, it's just going to be what it is, so.
Yeah, my attitude is just, regardless of where things lead and how successful or unsuccessful any project is, just putting it out there for people to hear and, letting it kind of take off on its own in whatever direction, and whatever comes of it. But the main thing is just to keep putting out the best material you can. That's all anyone can do.
Exactly. So tell everybody, I have 2 songs, Blood Runs Cold, and I know I'm going to say this wrong. Is it Salton Stall?
Yes, Salton Stall. Salton Stall is a track that I wrote about a lake in Haverhill, Massachusetts, not too far from where I live. And it's just kind of a cool place that has these walking trails, and it's just kind of this cool scenic location. And the thing that really intrigued me about it was that it's named for a judge, Nathaniel Saltonstall, who presided over some of the Salem witch trials.
Oh, okay.
So my whole idea in this song was that there's some sort of like evil lurking presence around that lake. And I actually recorded shot a video of the song,
yes,
which features my beautiful girlfriend Diane. And the whole premise of the video is that, she kind of gets lost and disoriented around this lake, and there's this kind of presence that ultimately overcomes her. So you can check out the video. That one's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And Blood Runs Cold is actually the first track that I wrote after deciding that I wanted to kind of break out on my own as a solo artist.
Right.
And that was kind of the first song I wrote getting that started.
Awesome. Yeah, because the Salton Stall, the first thing I thought of when I seen the title, I had, like a couple of days before that, I had actually watched the movie The Salton Sea.
Oh, okay.
And I was thinking in my head, I was like, I wonder if it has anything to do with that, because that movie was actually filmed in Boston.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was thinking about that, and then I thought, I listened to the words, and it really didn't necessarily seem like it tied into the movie any or anything like that, or was really inspired by it per se. But if you haven't seen the movie, you should really see it. It's got Vincent D'Onofrio in it, and it's really it's kind of a cross between Silence of the Lambs and a mobster movie.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is, and Vincent D'Onofrio plays a really, really twisted character in this. And it's a perfect character for him because he is sort of that actor type for that style. So he kind of takes this crazy character from Law and Order, and he adds a bit of gangster to it, and then adds a touch of Hannibal Lecter to it, and it's really a unique movie, and I was really, really impressed by it, and it was very different than a lot of movies. Yeah, and like I said,
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's filmed in Atlantic City and Boston, so you'll probably see a lot of stuff like, it's like, hey, I know where that is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, familiar. Yeah.
Well, we're going to play these 2 songs, and we're going to let everybody hear these songs because they've obviously already heard the Little Red Corvette 100 times. So we're going to give them a taste of some other stuff from you. I appreciate your time so much, man. And again, anytime you have something new that you want to submit it and you want to come back on, please let us know, because I definitely love the conversations that we have.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thank you so much for playing my stuff. I plan to be recording again, hopefully in the next few months, so I will definitely keep in touch.
Absolutely, man. Awesome. You have a great night, man, and we're going to get onto the rock.
Okay, bye-bye.
Peace. That was Mr. Jason Lynch. And let me turn my speaker down here. And we're going to thump now because he has got 2 kick-ass songs. The first one is called Blood Runs Cold. The second one is called Salton Stall. You're going to hear a lot of different little things in here. You're going to hear some Priest. You're going to hear some God's